Welcome and thank you for standing by. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. During the question and answer session, please press star 1 to ask a question. Today's conference is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. Now to the meeting over, Jared Liu. You may begin.
Great, thank you, and thanks everyone for joining us. This is the third Thursday webcast series. It's a monthly webcast held at the lunch hour. The trainings leverage local successes by amplifying to a larger audience to model organizations, methods, materials, and approaches. Sessions are planned to last no more than 1 hour, with 2 presenters speaking on the same topic from slightly different perspectives, each for 10 to 15 minutes, followed by 10 to 15 minutes of questions and answers. Today's session is approved by the ISA for 1 CEU hour and by SAF for 1 CFE Category 1. If you haven't already given me your certification number, you can email me after this session. Alternatively, most state landscape architecture boards require only a certificate of completion, which we are happy to provide to those who request it after the meeting. This is a program of the Alliance for Community Trees, and we encourage you to consider joining if you're not a member. We also want to thank our sponsors of today's call, the Home Depot Foundation and the USDA Forest Service. Today's session is Advancing Your Mission with support from your urban and community forest councils. Urban forest councils are collaborative organizations comprised of individuals, citizens, groups, nonprofits, businesses, and agencies from around the state that share an interest in urban and community forestry. They exist to help communities strengthen the efforts of local groups by serving as a resource, a forum for networking and discussion, and an advocate for the urban forest. The councils may do this by hosting conferences and workshops across the state for training and networking opportunities, promoting the benefits of urban forest management and healthy community forests to the general public, and educating elected officials and decision makers about important issues affecting the future of trees in the state. Additional programming may include basic tree care, workshops, publications, awards, and landmark or historic tree registries. Today's first speaker is Mary Lynn Beckley. Mary Lynn is Executive Director of the Georgia Urban Forest Council. The Georgia Urban Forest Council's mission is to sustain Georgia's green legacy by helping communities grow healthy trees and to be a broad-based leadership resource in promoting the importance of trees through Georgia by leveraging user-friendly technology, influencing the policy-making process, and providing cutting-edge programming. They offer a variety of programs and opportunities, including basic tree care workshops, educational quarterly meetings, publications such as Tree Talks and informational brochures, the annual conference and an annual awards program, and landmark and historic tree register. And we are pleased to welcome Mary Lynn with us today.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, Jared and Alliance for Community Trees for allowing me to talk about our organization. I always love to do that. The Georgia Urban Forest Council celebrated its 20th anniversary last year. That we were founded 20 years ago by a group of visionary folks who saw a need to address urban forestry issues back in the 80s. So we've reached a great milestone, and we're continuing to grow and have lots and lots of work yet to do. As you can see, our mission is sustaining Georgia's green legacy by helping communities to grow healthy trees. We are strictly an educational nonprofit. We are a 501c3 incorporated organization, and we educate through programming and publications. And I'm going to advance a little. What I'm going to do today is talk about our projects and services, and then spend a little extra time at the end talking about our partnerships, because that's I think is a focus here today, how everyone can partner with their council. The Georgia Urban Forest Council provides information on urban forest issues. We do that through our education and programming, and we're also a good networking group for all sorts of folks who are concerned with the urban forest to get together and share ideas and learn from each other. We are a membership organization. However, I always say you don't have to be a member of the council to take part in our programs. However, in a short while, I'll tell you about some of those benefits. Our members are anyone with an interest in trees and urban areas, including all those listed: engineers, planners, landscape architects, foresters, arborists, nonprofit organizations, tree boards. We also reach out to businesses government staff, builders and developers, landscape contractors, garden club members, anyone who really is concerned about the urban forest. Right now, we say we have a little over 300 members. That I think we're a little higher than that because some of our members are municipal staff, and those have 10 or 15 folks who are under that membership. So we have over 300 individuals and organizations that we claim as members, and we are always reaching out to others. Our projects and services include the Landmark and Historic Tree Program. This is a program whereby citizens can nominate trees in their community that have either historic or cultural significance. We have about 50 or so trees listed on the register right now, and our website has a listing of all of them, a description of the latest ones that have been put on the list, as well as some photographs. We did some catching up last year and put 7 trees, and a couple of examples of those would be, for example, an eastern white pine tree, which is very rare for this area, but it's 50 years old and is in absolutely wonderful condition right here in Decatur, Georgia, where we're located. That's an example of a tree on that list. Another example would be a tree on historic ground, Civil War land. There's a tree in Rome, Georgia, that we just put on the list last year that sits on a site of great historic significance. So those are the types of trees that we award to that program. We have the Tree Legacy Grant Program that we started a couple of years ago. This is in conjunction with the Home Depot Foundation. They grant us money. We, in turn, grant it back out to communities for tree planting projects that mitigate environmental problems. And we like this program to also be a learning experience for those that are awarded the grant money. As I say, we've completed our 2nd year, and we hope to keep this going. And Georgia's a big state, so what we've had to do is to divide up the state into regions. And the first year we targeted southwest Georgia because they had been hit hard by tornadoes and needed to do a lot of replanting. And then this year we targeted Metro Atlanta, and we're slowly moving around the state with that grant program. We have quarterly educational programs, and again, we're statewide, so I'm constantly traveling around the state with these programs. We have basic and advanced tree workshops. Some examples of the advanced workshops that we presented this spring are advanced fundamentals of tree appraisal, advanced fundamentals of tree conservation on development sites. Those are some new additions to our lineup. We have an annual urban forestry conference every year. That's our signature event. This year we'll be in Metro Atlanta with our conference, and the theme will be trees and transportation. And we've invited Dr. Kathleen Wolf from the University of Washington to come back down and speak on that topic as her research is ongoing in that area. And we have an annual awards program. We love to give awards. We love to reward those that have contributed to the urban forest. And our, the categories that we give awards are everything from the media to marketing to a student category, developer, a new initiative, civic organization. Those are the types of groups and individuals that we give awards to every year. And we have an artist, a retired forestry illustrator who does a rendering, either a pen and ink, a drawing or a painting of a significant tree in the area of the conference every year. And we give a framed, limited edition print to each award winner. It's quite a beautiful award. We have several publications. The Tree Talks newsletter, and if those of you that can see the PowerPoint on your screen, the Tree Talks newsletter is over on the right. This is mailed out quarterly. We are, as everybody is doing, we're going more, electronic these days, and are mailing out this year. We're emailing out this 8-page newsletter for the rest of the year. Just cutting back this year a little bit, but that's our signature newsletter. And then the publication on the left is our Shade magazine, which is a much anticipated publication every January. It chronicles our conference that we have, and it chronicles, and then it goes a little bit further. Our writer does a lot of research and interviews with our speakers, and it's turned into quite a nice signature publication for us. So that comes out every January. And that's through a grant with the Georgia Forestry Commission. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, our partnership with them, in just a few minutes. We have a website. We have a new website this year we're very proud of. It's new and improved, much more user-friendly for an administrator like myself. And as is with everybody, that's our main tool of communication and our face for the public there. And we have a new website that we are in partnership with the Georgia Forestry Commission called georgiagrove.org that I'll talk about in just a second. And, of course, we're a recognized resource for urban forestry issues and programs. Benefits of membership include all that I just mentioned, plus you're on the fast track when it comes to notification of grant opportunities and invitations to programs. All of our programs get the CEUs that Jared mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. We publish a membership directory so that we can all be in touch, and we're just this year we'll have an electronic membership directory, so everybody will just be a click away from each other. And all of our programs are great networking opportunities with other urban forestry professionals and organizations. This is our message, and everybody knows this message, but this is what we preach and teach. So the urban forest includes all trees, vegetation, watersheds, and wildlife in our community. And urban forestry is the management of all these resources, and it's our duty to take care of all of these resources to benefit the environment and social and economic health of our community. And we constantly educate the public about all the benefits of trees that are listed there: heating, shade and cooling, clean air and water, soil erosion management, stormwater management, good health benefits, increased outdoor activities, property value increase, and business stimulation there. So those are some of the benefits that we tout. One little plug here, a little pat on our back. We were, after a rigorous application process, we were awarded the Standards for Excellence Institute Seal of Excellence last year for completing their certification program. And if there are any nonprofits on the line today, I would say definitely check into undergoing this program. It's just an excellent way for a nonprofit to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. You're doing the very best you can with all of your processes. All of your systems get reviewed by a panel of peers, and at the end of it, you're just in a much better place. If you didn't know how to do something before, you're doing it now, and it's just good peace of mind to know that you're operating as the very best nonprofit that you can. So there's their website, standardsforexcellenceinstitute.org, if you're interested in learning more about it. So here's the slide I was talking about. These are some of our partners. The council, we are just a partnership. I mean, that's what we're all about. We partner just about with someone on just about every one of our projects. And what I've done is I've listed them from largest to, I guess, smallest in scope as far as the partnership. And these are just a few. We do partner very closely with the Georgia Forestry Commission. We do get funding, some funding from them. And some of the projects that we have worked on with them include the Shade magazine that I talked about, a marketing research project. Last year, Georgia Forestry Commission and the Georgia Urban Forest Council partnered with or consulted with a marketing research firm, and the object was to find out what message, what concept resonated the most with Georgia citizens when it comes to getting them to take care of their trees and the environment. And that concept, after many focus groups and questionnaires and surveys across the state, the concept that resonated the most with them is the idea that they are creating a legacy for themselves by taking care of trees and the environment, that they're making the world a better place for their kids, their grandkids, and for generations to come. And so we have this year taken that knowledge and again partnered with the creation of the Grove website, and that's www.georgiagrove.org, and it's an online social community for tree plantings wherein you might plant a tree with your family and then put the picture up on the website with the description and create your own groves, invite friends and family to join you, and just share stories and it's to promote tree planting in Georgia. So that's what that's all about, and that's just an excellent partnership there. And I don't want to take up too much more time. We partner again with the Home Depot Foundation on the Tree Legacy Grant Program. Another partnership example is in Griffin, Georgia. There's a University of Georgia campus. They have their Center for Urban Agriculture there, and they have a research and education garden. We have met with them recently about starting an arboretum project there. They've got lots of plantings, but not a big focus on trees, and we're very excited to partner with us on beginning an arboretum on that campus. So we will be starting to work on that this fall. Moving on down the list, we're in talks with the Macon Museum of Arts and Sciences about doing an urban forestry day for the community in 2010, a free day where families and community members can come and learn about urban forestry and tree planting and all the benefits of trees. There was a recent Green Life Expo in Athens, Georgia, and we were the sponsor of a tree planting at the very end. So we got publicity out of that, and they got a nice tree planting. So that was a good partnership. And then to end these examples, tomorrow, Saturday morning, we are presenting a workshop called Restoring Your Backyard Ecosystem, and we're partnering with the DeKalb Extension Service here in DeKalb County, using their facility, offering them a few tickets for their master gardeners, and just putting on a really good workshop. And I just added this at the end. When organizations partner, everyone wins, especially the communities, because your effort is just that much stronger. And that's what I've learned from all of these partnership examples we have here. And that's my contact information. There at the bottom there of that last slide, there's logos of all the groups that we're a member of, and we recently joined the Partnership for Sustainable Georgia, which is an initiative by the Department of Natural Resources here in Georgia. Their pollution prevention initiative, where we commit to helping them bring in other organizations to learning about having a better environment. So thank you. That in a nutshell is what the Georgia Urban Forest Council does.
Great. Thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you.
And if Lisa, if you can open the lines for questions and answers, please.
Okay, as a reminder, star 1 to ask a question, and please record your name. Star 1 to ask a question. One moment, please, for the first question.
Great. And I'll remind everyone, too, that you can ask a question either by phone or you can type it into the question manager, and I'll come on the line and read your question for you. So there were so many resources there. It's hard to know where to start, but one of the things I was thinking is a lot of the people on the call and a lot of the people who will download this afterwards are probably not from Georgia. And as I look through these things, I think there are a lot of things that are applicable to every state. But how much do you know about how much these are similar offerings in other states? And if they're not in other states, is there a process generally, let's say, on your end where someone could say, hey, this is how they do it in another state. Can we do something similar in Georgia?
I think most councils are educational and do a lot of educational programming, and probably are very similar in that they do partner with facilities and other organizations in getting these things done. I have had a question about our Shade magazine. How can we start one? Well, and the very simple answer to that is once you have the funding, because we're very grateful to the Georgia Forestry Commission for the funding for that each year. But beyond that, you find some talented people. We work with a three-person organization on that: a art director, a sort of an editor, and a writer. The writer comes to our conference and sits through it and is just brilliant and takes in everything and interviews the speakers and does the research and writes all the articles. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think everything that we do, is doable for all other councils and organizations.
Great. Yeah, that's kind of what I was asking. As the expert on urban forest councils. And I'm also thinking, we've pitched this session as, there are these great resources that your Urban Forest Council has that can help you, but Are there ways for community organizations, or are there particular ways that you like for community organizations to approach you in ways that they can best help advance your mission?
I'd love to be asked, how can we collaborate with you? I love collaboration, and just asking. I mean, if there's a joint or similar, mission. There's, like I said, there's strength in numbers, and there's just so much more you can do with your mission if there's lots of folks involved, because you got more brain power and more resources. So I have no problem. We have no problem with having lots of folks, co-sponsoring things with us. So.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Does the operator have any questions in queue?
I show no questions. Again, as a reminder, *1 to ask a question.
Okay. And I know generally people warm up kind of slowly, even though it's lunchtime. So we'll move on to the next presenter, and we'll say there will be a question and answer period after the next presenter when you can ask for either of the presenters. All right. So thanks, Mary Lynn.
Thank you.
All right. Our next presenter is Bill Hasher. Bill is the president of the North Carolina Urban Forest Council. The North Carolina Urban Forest Council is a nonprofit organization that helps communities strengthen the efforts of local groups by serving as a resource, a forum for networking and discussion, and an advocate of the urban forest. The council seeks to encourage and support these communities in their urban forest management efforts. The North Carolina Urban Forest Council hosts conferences and workshops across the state for training and networking opportunities. They also co-sponsor conferences with others in the green industry. Their members promote the benefits of urban forest management and healthy community forests. They educate elected officials and decision makers about important issues affecting the future of trees in North Carolina's communities. And thanks for being with us, Bill.
Thank you. It's great to be here today, and listening to Mary Lynn's presentation was great, and I think that great handle on Georgia urban forestry. I've always looked, even before I got involved with North Carolina, was well aware of the activities that were happening in Georgia. So great work there. Great model. I've been involved with the North Carolina Urban Forestry Council for about 5 years, and was just recently chairman and president of the council. And we basically have a lot of the similar programs, as you talked about, having the various activities that take place, supporting the urban forestry. Really, I mean, the bottom line for me, and I believe a lot of folks who operate and exist in these urban forestry councils, is we want to have trees for the next generation with all the benefits, and we just want to make sure that we're being good stewards of our communities, because it's such a it's the rate that we have with development and other the impacts in our urban forests. It's really we need to maintain this, because it's all about our children and their children to have something in place for the future. So as a North Carolina Urban Forestry Council, what we're doing, and we're furthering our mission, we're getting the word out about tree planting, tree preservation, and just about everything in between. We've done I think that the Urban Forestry Council in North Carolina has done a fantastic job with putting on these educational events, which I think is really, in a lot of ways, these educational events are really the cornerstone of our organization, and really the glue that holds it all together. We all have these common interests and goals as a executive committee, and we are from all different parts of the state. We have responsibilities in our jobs outside of being Urban Forest Council folks, and we tend to bring a wide diversity of expertise to when we all sit around the table or when we all get together for our meetings and brainstorm what we can do to improve the situation. So one of the things that we've discussed, and Leslie Morman and myself, she's over at DFR, have had some great conversations, and we've basically come to think that these what we call Carolina Canopy events, educational events that take place and provide outreach education in towns all across the state. We try to put these events on at no cost or very low cost. We usually we'll do six of these events per year, and what we'll often do is we'll pick an event or something. If you have a storm like with takes out a lot of tree cover, we'll basically address the topic to suit the community where we're going to have the event. We try to spread them out, and in order to pull one of these Carolina canopies together, it really takes, as was mentioned in Mary Lynn's talk about networking and communication, and we really work a lot of times in recent budget years. We've been working closely with the extension services, local arboreta and botanic garden, and we've put on events at community colleges as well, where we can get these seminars together for very low cost, and we can pull on we have speakers that we can bring in and from within our membership to address topics such as tree risk management, care of heritage trees. We'll use tapping into a wider network as well for speakers to take care of addressing the topics properly. Again, as I mentioned, the topics are based on local needs, and we've, as you probably all know too, we've been experiencing some drought the past few years, so we've been doing topics about drought, and with our friend the emerald ash borer making his way all around the country, we're educating people about what to look out for, some of these pests. Hemlock woolly adelgid is one, and just bringing the latest information to bringing it basically to people's doorsteps and organizing these workshops in the places where the information needs to be put out there the most. And we've typically gotten really good turnout, and so those are some of the things that we have to really pull all of our expertise together and leverage our contacts and get the word out about these events. And if I had to say one thing about putting those events together, it's planning in advance. That's one of the huge things, is to get it planned ahead and to get the word out early through the various trade magazines, and in order to meet their deadlines to make the announcements, so you can reach who you want to reach. Last June we had a workshop, and it was a regional seminar. We have, in addition to the canopies, we'll occasionally do these special events, and in this case we did charge registration in order to be able to bring in speakers. We brought in two speakers. We got Neville Fay from United Kingdom to come in and talk about heritage trees, and Phil Van Wassner from Ontario, and we had a great interest in this veteran tree workshop, which we had about 100 or so people come out for it, and this workshop was actually one of their stops on a tour around the country. So we were able to, as the Urban Forest Council, bring this a great program, and we're able to use our networking and be able to pull in and get our support from corporate support, such as the larger tree companies, arborist supply companies, and we've learned in dealing. So I'd like to. I've been getting more and more local in my efforts and activities, and looking at our Keep America Beautiful affiliates. They're great folks to partner with, and also have a lot of good experience with getting helping to put events on, large-scale events, tree planting projects, things of that nature. Really, the goal that we have is to engage our membership, leverage the information, and get it into smaller communities, and encourage them to nurture and maintain their trees properly. You see so much of bad pruning practices around, and where it may be accepted like that's just the way you do it. So, well, we need to get the word out there about proper planting as well. So there's a diverse palette of information. Over the past 5 years, we've been also doing these service days at deserving locations around the state. We typically will do a service day with a children's home. We did one a couple of years ago at a children's home outside of Statesville, center, just about right around the center of the state, and we had a lot of where these places typically have a lot of land and a lot of mature trees and no budget to care for them, or they don't have the budget to do any planting for the next generation of trees to come up, or to take down their hazardous trees. So we get together and talk to all our local tree companies, and then we'll ask them if they're interested in coming out and providing a day of service, which is much appreciated. And we also call in our friends in the landscape and nursery industry and see if they would like to donate some trees. So it's all about that, just picking up the phone and calling and talking and trying to get all our efforts together for a common goal. And we're really we've been really successful, and we've been doing a service day every year. And at tomorrow's meeting, we're going to be planning for our next one, and that's going to be in November 21st. One of the big things also coming up in the fall is our State Urban Forestry Conference. It's been in the planning for quite some time now, and having these emerging issues, innovations, and current trends showcased at an annual conference is something that we feel is very important. So this is we're working with the Division of Forest Resources to get this program together, and it's promising to be a great event at the Marriott in downtown Greensboro. So we are planning actively to get the word out about these a lot of the same, the issues that Mary Lynn went into detail about with stormwater management, and a lot of the emerging. There's a lot of emerging laws that are coming in online, saying that these are what you need to do, and so we do gather a lot of interest from landscape architects and planners, and we offer credits for planners and architects, and that's another way to help get the word out by offering the credits. So I've always had a kind of a keep it simple approach. Bottom line, trees for tomorrow. One situation that's kind of interesting that I'd like to share is that I found kind of interesting was we had some of our members in one small community. They decided that they wanted to do a Carolina canopy on their own. Usually we have one of our executive committee members initiate and then have everything do all the planning, but this small core group of our membership was able to they wanted to put a program on and just do it, and they were in a fairly remote location where we didn't have a lot of EC coverage. So we decided that since they took the initiative and put it together, that any of the profits that were generated from that I decided we could just go ahead and let that the profits be used into their local tree program. So that was kind of a cool thing that I thought would be nice to share. Some future directions of where we're headed. We've been diversifying our board to include developers and green builders. We're trying to get things like that. Diversification of our board is important to reach out to the different disciplines and improve the network and increase the amount of exposure that we have across the state. Another project coming online is I'd like to be working with my local group here to target the highest visited attractions and integrate some urban forestry information, like at our nature center and maybe at nature centers across the state. We could have some things like that. So anyway, I believe that I am just about out of time, and I wanted to just take any questions at this point, and I'm sure there probably are a few. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Bill. And if the operator can open the lines, please.
As a reminder, star 1 to ask a question, and please record your name. Star 1 to ask a question. 1 moment, please, for the first question.
Great. And again, I'll remind everyone that you can also ask your questions online by typing them into the Q&A section up at the top. So one of the things that I'm always curious about, and on a national level, we just try to take measure of, are we making progress? And I'm always curious to hear on a state level, how are we doing in North Carolina? Do you feel like in general we're making progress?
Yes, I do. I think that it's evident when you get out and when you see these when you see folks at meetings and you have conversations with them about what's happening in their areas, and it is the progress is measured by what you learn in those conversations, and I think we're making some great progress with regards to tree awareness, and just with the whole recent we have more awareness of the green environmental which is helps us out, environmentally minded folks. So I've even just in the past couple of years I believe that I've seen some improvement, pruning and planting.
Great. Well, Jay Banks, who's the president of the Virginia Urban Forest Council, says, asked the question whether or not y'all are aware, and I think this is for either speaker, if you're aware of any collaborations on a regional level or national level of state urban councils, because he's interested in dialoguing with other councils to further their efforts and their outreach.
This is Mary Lynn in Georgia. The first thing that comes to mind when I hear that question is we would love to collaborate with other councils in other states. We would love to do, a regional conference, that type of thing. So I don't know of anything that's being planned right now, but we are open for those types of opportunities.
Absolutely. I think that we should have cross collaboration. I mean, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia and Virginia. I mean, we're all we're all neighbors, and we know we could have we could definitely have events that collaborate, and especially in this times of diminishing resources, where it can be more challenging. We can pool our resources and make some opportunities.
Well, and I think that's a good segue too to ask, how you think the recession will affect the urban and community forestry field in general.
Mike, if I could answer, I think that it's going to be. There was a tremendous amount of, before 1991. There was a lot of urban forestry happening before the Farm Bill, and I think that it's gonna the impacts that the recession is that we're experiencing is, I think, stimulating those who were there in the early days, back in '91. I was just getting into it, coming out of or just being in college at the time in '91. And having the interest in urban forestry, I think it's really gonna. I think it's going to be great. I see it as a great opportunity, and I don't look at it as a negative thing.
I think the psychological impact of just this economic situation is just more of an awareness of the importance of conservation in general. So I think all these programs like urban forestry will get a greater emphasis, and I think it'll raise the awareness across the board for them.
And I'll say, at least from what I've heard across the country, from mainly from the nonprofit community, is that people feel exactly like you do. They think this is going to raise awareness even more when we start talking about things like the triple bottom line. That just brings our issue to the forefront even further. You might plant a tree for the shade benefits, for energy efficiency, and then lo and behold, you've also got the property value increases, you've got the stormwater management. So the people are seeing this as, if you just wanted to break it down on a pure economic lines, I think we're pretty well positioned for the recession. All right. We have a question about what are your major funding sources, private or government? And I know Mary Lynn got into this a little bit, but how much can y'all talk about your funding situations?
Okay, I tell you that we probably a third of our budget is funded by the Georgia Forestry Commission, and the rest, a little over a third, and then the rest is, of our operations are funded by the revenue we bring in from our programming and our membership. And then we have this separate grant program that's funded by the Home Depot Foundation. That's kind of separate outside of our operating budget. But those are our funding sources. We have sponsorships for our annual conference, and these are, tree companies, nurseries, and those types of companies that want to, be part of our conference, and so they help fund that. But that about covers it for our funding sources in Georgia.
Yeah, with North Carolina, what we're working towards is more and more sponsorships. We've Duke Energy has been a big help for us, and working on some of the other major utilities, and we're also asking some of our board. We're asking our board or EC to give over and above, and we're also asking our membership to give a little bit extra as well to fund all these programs, so we can continue to keep getting the word out.
Okay. Does the operator have any questions in queue?
I show no questions.
Okay. We have a question or a comment from Karen Hawk. Hopefully I pronounced that right. She says she's the new executive director at the South Carolina Urban Community Forestry Council. So welcome, Karen. And she would also like to say she'd welcome the opportunity to collaborate with any regional councils on educational opportunities, and would love to see a forum for regular communication between the councils. So we definitely have a strong southern contingency going here.
Yes. Yes, that's indeed. So a lot of great talent down here in the South.
So we'll all get to talk. We'll talk later, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got I'll bring it up for our meeting tomorrow.
Great. Okay. Well, we have no more questions, and I know people are busy, and we always like to break early, so we'll wrap it up. I'm going to put a slide up on the screen now that has a quick survey. There are 4 questions out here, and if everyone can fill these out, it really helps us to improve our programs. But otherwise, I want to thank everyone who joined today. Oh, and I also want to mention that presentations and the recorded session and the resource list will also be available in about a week, and it'll be back on the site where you registered for this session. And I'll send a reminder out to everyone who's registered, or everyone who registered for this.
It was very enjoyable.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thanks, presenters and participants and our sponsors, the Home Depot Foundation and the USDA Forest Service. And also a reminder that our next webcast is May 21st, and it's on Tree Campus, USA. All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This concludes today's conference. We thank you for your participation. At this time, you may disconnect your lines. Leaders, did you like to go back into the pre-conference?
No, that's not necessary. Thank you.
Okay, have a great day.
Okay, thanks.